Hello everyone, MDio here. I'd like to take a moment and address the format of these videos. Like today I have a script and I'm hoping that it's going to be better than the last video, just like every time I make one of these videos. I'm still experimenting with the format quite a bit, and there's something in the flow of production that seems to get gunked up sometimes. So I'm thinking that putting my thoughts in order, it should take more time, but the end result should be better structure, it'll have flow, and at the very least it will be worth the effort. The format itself, adding voice like this, it has a number of upsides. I can record as many times as it takes for me to feel good about what I'm saying. I can also take as much time as I need. There isn't all this pressure on myself to perform. I stumble over my words quite a bit, and if I can just get things out in a smooth, consistent manner, it should be better overall. On the downside, any mistakes that I make on a fundamental level will go throughout the entire video, and if I'm playing a game, I don't get to react to what I'm doing. Like at the end of the previous video, I ended up dying. You can see me walking off to go find my stuff here. I'm thinking that I might take some kind of hybrid approach where I play the game and can react to it as I go along, but I don't have to talk the entire time, so I can just use any time that is empty to fill in space, fill in the gaps. I'd like to take some time and explain why I'm doing this too. Like, why YouTube videos? Why not just go live stream on Twitch or just continue with what I was doing? Honestly, I really like the way that these YouTube videos go. And with my sleep the way it is, I need something that works at any time of the day. So I can sit down and record a video, just play some games, talk about some things. And it works, it flows, it is great. And I have been missing something for a very long time with just interacting with people. It's not that experience that you get when you go out and talk to random people or talk to family. Now, that's not the kind of experience that I want. I want to have long-form conversations with people. And I've been finding that the Minecraft forum was perfect for when I was making Tinker's Construct the first time. I could wake up, I could sit down, have some breakfast, read what people said the previous day, take some time, respond to all of them, and then after I had been talking to people about the latest things or whatever comments they had, you go about my business. And I feel like responding to comments on a YouTube video like this, it just is what I want to do. I don't necessarily want to do it in a voice format like this, but I feel like if I can at least respond to people and we can have some kind of halfway conversation. If I was doing YouTube videos a lot earlier where people used to have video responses to each other, that would have worked really well too. It's this kind of long form back and forth interaction with people that I really, really want. So to that end, I'd like to read some YouTube comments. Alfonso says, it seems like a lot of Minecraft modders end up working on their own game instead. Maybe there's some truth in that. Some modders find themselves so interested in the programming or the creation side of just creating mods that they want to take it to the next level. That feeling you get when you create a mod, put it into the game, have it work with 400 other people's other mods, and the raw experience that you gain from seeing how your design works, how the code can have bugs introduced into it by other mods, by platform shifts, or from people doing things in ways that you couldn't even imagine. That runs the entire gamut of emotions. Once you have that kind of feeling, it's just natural to take the idea that you built something and expand it out into something new and different. On the flip side, a lot of people start learning how to create games with mods. They could learn how to code, design, they could work in teams, or maybe they could just want something particular for a mod pack that they didn't have before, and they found that the creation of that little thing that they wanted, it's it's kind of addictive, just making things. They might have enjoyed that process of creating, that they wanted to recreate not just the little mod pack thing, but building things from the ground up. I've seen it happen again and again. Someone wants to make a cool thing. Of course, they're successful. They make the cool thing. And Minecraft mods get a lot of attention. And these people, they do that in their creative process. It's like, okay, I made the thing. Let's do it again. Or we've got these ideas that we had that we were building along the way. Just ideas constantly explode out of your head, trying to find somewhere great. And, well, they're start running up against the edges of Minecraft. And that's not good, being constrained into this Minecraft thing. So they pick up their bags, they pack them all in that order, and then they leave. They go build a new house somewhere. Unfortunately, a lot of people, after they get to that point, they don't realize how hard it is to build a game, so they struggle, and some of them will actually make something great. In fact, Factorio is one of the best games that exist, and it was based on Minecraft's tech mods, the early scene. They just couldn't deal with Minecraft itself. So they literally picked up their own bags and made a new game engine. It's also kind of funny, looking at a lot of these larger mods. They're more complicated than a lot of the early games. In fact, the entire NES library, I think Tinker's Construct by itself is as complicated as any 3 games. Anybody who made a mod that has half a megabyte of code will have at least twice as much code as the next largest NES game, let alone anything earlier than that. Tyron X says, funny. One point it was also one of the reasons I started Vintage Story. What is this? Minecraft with that sweet next-gen sepia tone? Standalone Terra Firma Craft? The Seasons mod locked to fall? Who made this? Oh. I heard of your game when it was announced. At the time I didn't think much about it, to be honest. Minecraft clones are a dime a dozen, and there's no shortage of disgruntled mod developers from Mojang just breaking their mods in half whenever one of these breaking versions would come out. I am also not really a fan of the next generation sepia tone and brown that an entire console generation ran through. I mean, the project slipped my mind until about a month ago when someone mentioned it offhand. The 4 people that I talked to, of those 4, 3 people liked it, and the last one just wasn't that interested in it. I might play this game. I happen to like playing Minecraft clones. I've played pretty much all of them, except for the ones that are in early access. After Starbound came out and the entire Minecraft community got all hyped up and excited for a new modding platform, 3 years before it was actually ready, I made myself a policy of do not play any early access games unless it is something that is already worth playing. And when Vintage Story came out, it wasn't really worthwhile at the time. Now, I need to take a look at it and just see what's in there. There seems to be a lot of depth and a lot of progress has been made in the past 4 or 5 years. I'm not sure exactly when it came out, but I'm gonna put it in the same box as I do with any good Minecraft clone, like Hytale. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Great things might come of it. I want to see it turn into a fully fleshed out experience. And I was hoping for one of those fully fleshed out experiences beyond what Minecraft would do. But Minecraft has moved to the point where it is a game on top of all of it. So I guess I have a good comparison point here. The only question I have on top of all of this is, how badly can I break your game if I port Tinker's Construct to it? Matt Bofill asks, where's day 5? We don't talk about day 5. Seriously though, I think I was blocking myself from making anything new for 3 weeks. Tamping down your creativity when it's bursting from the seams nearly all of the time because you have something that is a problem is not something you should do. Ever. All of the process needs to flow, and if it's backstopped, it comes out anyway. Oliver Johansson asks, do you have any favorite silly bugs you've created while making your mods? Personally, I'm partial to where you were able to fill up the smeltery to the skybox with a giant column of molten metal. First of all, the smeltery going over its cap was the funniest thing I have ever seen. You want to create a giant wall of liquid metals by somehow getting a bug to where the liquid goes up just a little bit, and now it can go up to infinity. In fact, do you want to just keep chucking iron in there and have unlimited power? And then what are you going to do about it? You going to blow it up? Deep fried creeper? Corrupt your save? Nah. It was a pretty innocuous bug. It was funny. There wasn't any buggy behavior behind just having it go up way to the sky, so the bug stayed for quite some time. My favorite bug, on the other hand, had to do with the bounce pads. So, let's set this up a little bit. Imagine yourself a piece of cobblestone that you've got in your hand, and you have set up something to transport it from the beginning of an area to the end. This something is a water channel that flows directly into a slime channel right on top of it, mind you. And then that goes into a bounce pad. So the bounce pads, they would shoot something out like a catapult. It was sort of like... Oh, there's a few mods that have item catapults. That was its purpose. And the slime channels were just a copy of vanilla water that I did when I was half tired in about an hour. Then I had to test all of this, so toss your cobblestone in, goes through the water, smoothly goes down until it hits the slime channel, falls down, it goes bloop, bloop, bloop as it goes along, then it touches that bounce pad, and it goes boing. You're like, hey, that's exactly what it should do. And I have infinite flowing items now. So it goes down and goes boing, and then it goes boing, and you go, wait a minute, this went further. And it goes further down again, and it goes boing, just a little bit, and then it goes boing a fourth time, and it's obvious that it's inconsistent at this point. So I start watching it to try and figure out what it does, and the very next thing it does, it gets over there, and it goes boing, and it's gone. I couldn't find it, so I did it again, and it was inconsistent. But at some point, it would go boing, and it went to space. I found the second block 280 blocks away. The third piece of cobblestone was 400 blocks away, and I didn't find any more after that. Well, that was hilarious. I wish I had thought to record videos at the time, because that was still before I was doing this YouTube thing. They would all go in the same direction. The problem was how inconsistent and how buggy it was. It was just, nothing about this made any sense. So I had to make it consistent and logical. So instead of making it so that you could do that with a single consistent bounce pad, you stack 30 of them on top of each other, and then it literally goes to space. That's an ascended bug that I don't think I can ever top, because you just wouldn't be able to tell where anything went. It was wing. This next comment is kind of long, and it has a few good points, so I'm going to break it up into bits. Glad to see some of the game you're making, and create what makes you happy. Creating what makes me happy is kind of a difficult subject to approach. It feels like I'm not happy unless I'm actually creating something. And I've got all these ideas that are burgeoning through my head all the time. Both the left brain trying to sort all of them, and the right brain just trying to make all of them. My entire brain wants to make pretty patterns and complete ideas that have structure and form and come out as fully fleshed out blocks of things that I can build on. Which is great if I wanted to sit down and make something like a YouTube video. Like, I can just break it apart and put it back together really quickly. But when you're trying to make a game, it takes a disproportionate amount of time. For example, when I made Tinker's Construct to begin with, this is my this is my magnum opus. I keep talking about it because we're on a Minecraft channel here, and people are still interested in the mod development side of things. But when I made it the first time, I sat down on the 20th of December in 2012. The world was supposed to end the next day, and I didn't have anything to do. So I designed Tinker's Construct. Tools, all the tool types, get the smeltery going, get the tool station. It took an hour. Let me repeat that. It took an hour to make 80% of the design for Tinker's Construct. And Tinker's Construct took a year to build, and it didn't really turn out any different from how I had imagined it to begin with. To be fair, I was working on a mod called InfiTools, and I had 3 versions of that, so I had just enough time to think about the complete experience, and I had left it alone, came back, and was like, let's start again. It also took me maybe a couple of days to figure out how to design the code, and I was going at this as a learning project, so I didn't want to make something that was too complicated, but I wanted to be something that was complicated enough that it took enough time to make that I could learn from it and show it off as a completed project. But still, that entire process took an hour to begin with, and then maybe 5 to 6 hours of total time learning how things worked. Let's round it up and call it 10 hours. And then 8 to 10 hours a day of just building a mod. That's completely crazy. You go crazy if you don't talk to anybody about that. So what I want to do to actually create something is kind of what I'm doing right now. Like, I want to make something, and you can do these things by yourself, but do not build them alone. You put things in a box and you don't talk to anybody about these. I mean, you can if you're just building it to begin with. I just worked on Tinker's Construct, the code base, for about 3 weeks before I started showing off the design and the way the mod was going and the first release. But that was 3 weeks where I could just hunker down and work on an idea. Trying to do that for a whole year? It's not anything that would have been worthwhile. So the thing that actually makes me happy here is I like to talk to people about what I'm building. I like to build things that other people enjoy. Games are my absolute pride and joy, but it's just such a process to actually get them working. So these YouTube videos are a sort of stopgap, so that way I can have interactions with people and actually work on them and show off what I'm doing. That way I'm not doing it alone. I am doing it by myself, don't get me wrong. I'm the only one working on these things right now, but I'm not doing it alone. I think it's also important as a content creator for making videos like this to have something going on beyond what they're doing. Like, it's fine to sit down and you record a video and have a game going, but it is not okay to be a boring individual. Like, you should have something that you're doing that is going to get people interested and excited. No one's really interested in MDio, the person behind there. People want to see MDio the mod developer, MDio the game creator, MDio the wacky person, MDio the expert in their field at doing game design, or maybe MDio the person who studied everything about everything. Like, those are interesting ideas, and we can talk about that. But if I'm just sitting here talking about it, or just like, nah, that's not good. That's about all the time we have for today. If there's anything you want me to talk about, leave a comment below the video. Until then, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again next time.